What's going on, guys? Tim with Swing Yard here. Today I'm just going to take a couple minutes of your time to tell you how important it is to understand the loft of your driver head. I have two different drivers from Second Swing today. Thank you to them for allowing us to rent some of their clubs. I have a 9-degree QI 35 LS and I have a 10.5 QI 35 LS. These are the same driver heads, 1.5 degree difference. I'm even going to use the exact same Ventus Velocore Plus shaft. It's a 7X. I'm going to use the exact same shaft. I'm going to hit a couple shots. I'm going to show you how important it is to understand the degree of your driver head. This can impact launch angles. It can impact spin rates, the overall ball flight. It's super important that you guys understand this rather than just going to buy something off the rack at a store. Most people go and do that. They come out and they like it a little bit. They try and work into it. It just doesn't work. You need to understand some of the statistics behind what your swing is producing with a specific driver head. Now the 9-degree works better for me. I'll hit the 10.5 degree, but you guys can see how much more spin I'm going to get. Where I'm going to have the same exact shaft as I mentioned, same exact adapter settings, because you can obviously mess with the launch angles. I have all three weights on each head, the exact same. Everything else is the exact same, except it's 1.5 degree difference. Let's hit a couple shots and we'll talk about the stats and just some of the launch angles and spin rates that change with a 1.5 degree difference. All right, guys, I put it so you can see the sim. I'm going to start with the 9-degree. I'm going to hit 5 good shots. I'm going to swap heads, and we'll test out the 10.5. Here we go. All right, got 5 good ones with the 9-degree. Switching to the 10. All right, guys, 10.5, here we go. All right, guys, I just got done hitting 10 golf balls, 5 with the 9-degree, 5 with the 10.5 degree. Let's take a look at the stats so I can kind of explain how these make such a difference in a golf swing. So if you look at my other screen here, I adjusted it. The 5 I have highlighted are the 9-degree swings, and the 5 I don't have highlighted on top are the 10-degree swings, 10.5 degree swings. So let me point out a couple things. If you can see, my carry distance is pretty consistent, 276, 281, 277, 276, 276. Okay, great. That's consistent. You can see my spin is 2,600, 2,600, 2,800, 3,000, 2,700. I typically would probably like, like 22 to 24, so that's a little bit higher than I want, but the big thing I want to point out here too is the launch angle. So coming off a 9-degree driver with my swing, I'm getting 10.9, 11. I did have a 15 in there. I actually think I towed this one quite a bit, gave it a little bit more loft, but consistently it's around 10 or 11, maybe up to 12. And so that's kind of some of the distances you get, right just shy of 300 is what I'm looking at. So if we look at the QI 35 10.5 degree, you can see my carry distances are a little bit less. We're looking at 269, 273, 73, 270, 271. So these are a little bit less. Why is that? The reason that is, my launch angles are higher, 12, 14, 14, 12, 13.9. That's great. If you're playing in the wind, you actually want the little bit lower loft. If you're not in the wind, it's no big deal. But what happens here is my spin increased, where everything is in the 3,000s. We're looking at 3,100, 3,000, 3,400, 3,400, 3,500. Now, depending on how you want to play it, I can probably control the QI, the 10.5 degree a little bit better. More spin allows you to control it. However, as a result of that, I'm losing anywhere from, I don't know, what is this, 10 to 15 yards per ball. I guess you could, anywhere from 5 to 15 depending on which ball you're looking at. But that's a big difference in just 1.5 degrees of a club. So that's kind of what I wanted to highlight here. Make sure you're doing your research. Your shaft is equally important. I always mention that in my videos. Make sure you're doing your research on the weight of your shaft, the flex. It all is kind of dependent on your swing speed and kind of how you approach and your angle of attack on the ball and things like that. So if you have any questions, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this helps you understand driver loft angle a little bit. If you have questions, hit us in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you for following Swing Yard, and please subscribe to our channel. We appreciate you. Talk to you guys soon.